My name is Elena Harper. I am 28 years old. My fiancé believed every single lie they told him about me, until the rehearsal dinner changed everything. I watched silently as his family planted poison in his mind day after day. I smiled through the growing distance, convincing myself that love would win in the end. But that night, under the bright lights and watchful eyes of 150 guests, when Marcus looked at me with doubt and chose their whispers over my truth, something inside me died quietly. And what I did next still makes my hands tremble when I remember it. Before I tell you what actually happened, take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel and tell me your country in the comments. Now, let's begin. Part 1. My name is Elena Harper. I am 28 years old. It started with small things. Things so subtle that at first I thought I was imagining them. Marcus and I had been together for almost 3 years. He was the kind of man who once looked at me like I was his entire world. But after the engagement, everything began to shift slowly, like ice forming under still water. His mother, Victoria Whitaker, would smile at me during Sunday brunches and say, "You're so strong, Elena. Raising yourself after your mother passed. Not everyone can carry such heavy baggage with grace." Her words sounded kind, but her eyes told a different story. Then came the night that planted real fear in my heart. I had woken up thirsty at 2 a.m. and found Marcus sitting in the living room, staring at his laptop. When I approached, he quickly closed it, but not before I caught a glimpse of the screen. My name at the top of a document titled, "Background Verification, Elena Harper." My stomach dropped. "What is that?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He hesitated, then forced a smile. "Just some paperwork for the wedding, baby. Don't worry." But I did worry. That night I couldn't sleep. My mind kept spinning with dark thoughts. Was he investigating me? Did he no longer trust the woman he wanted to marry? The psychological crack had begun. That quiet fear that the man I loved might be doubting me behind my back. From then on, the lies spread like slow poison. Claire, his sister, started dropping comments during family calls. Some girls are experts at hiding their past, especially when money is involved. Richard, his father, would casually mention how important family reputation and clean history were for their business circle. Marcus never defended me strongly. He would say, "They're just protective." But every time he said it, a small piece of my heart broke. The most unexpected and chilling moment came 10 days before the rehearsal dinner. I accidentally saw a text on Marcus's phone while he was driving. It was from his mother. "Son, the investigator confirmed she had a child at 19 and gave it up. This girl has too much hidden. Think carefully before you ruin your future." My hands turned cold. I had planned to tell him about my daughter myself, after the wedding, when we were alone, but they had twisted my painful decision into proof that I was damaged goods. That night, when Marcus kissed me goodnight, I felt nothing but emptiness. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how long he had been listening to their lies. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was slow, creeping, and deeply painful. I could feel him slipping away, and the worst part was, he didn't even realize how much he was hurting me. By the morning of the rehearsal dinner, I could sense something terrible was coming. My chest felt tight with anxiety. Little did I know, that night would push me past the point of no return. The rehearsal dinner felt like walking into a beautifully decorated trap. The ballroom glowed with soft golden lights and elegant white flowers. Guests laughed and chatted, but I could feel their curious eyes on me. I wore the dress Marcus had once said made me look like a dream. Tonight, it felt like armor I didn't trust. Everything seemed normal at first, until the toasts began. Richard stood up first, raising his glass. "To my son, and to choosing a partner who truly matches our family's values and background." The subtle attack landed. A few people smiled awkwardly. Then Victoria took the microphone with her signature graceful smile. She looked straight at me and said, "Marriage is about honesty. Some secrets, especially from the past, like unexpected children or difficult choices, can destroy everything if they come out later." The room went silent. My heart started pounding violently. I felt exposed, naked, humiliated. Claire followed with a sweet but venomous speech. I just want my brother to be happy, with someone who has nothing to hide. All eyes turned to me. Marcus sat beside me, stiff and silent. I reached for his hand under the table, but he didn't hold it back. Victoria then spoke again, louder this time. Elena, darling, perhaps you should tell everyone about your daughter, the one you gave away when you were 19? Gasps filled the room. Tears burned my eyes. My throat closed up. I looked at Marcus desperately. Please, I whispered. He looked at me, and in his eyes I saw it clearly. Doubt. Real, painful doubt. Elena, is it true? Why didn't you ever tell me? His voice was low, but it cut deeper than any shout. In that moment, something inside me shattered completely. The man who promised to stand by me had chosen their lies over my truth, in front of everyone. The humiliation was so intense that I felt physically sick. My mind screamed in silence while my face stayed frozen in a weak smile. I tried to explain with a trembling voice, but the damage was done. Whispers spread like wildfire. Some guests looked at me with pity, others with judgment. After the dinner, Marcus told me he needed space to think clearly. He left with his family without even looking back properly. That night, alone in our apartment, I sat on the cold floor surrounded by half-packed wedding boxes. The pain was unbearable, not just heartbreak, but a deep, soul-crushing humiliation. I questioned everything about myself. Was I really unworthy? Had I been fooling myself all along? At my lowest, when the tears finally stopped, a strange coldness settled over me. The love I had for Marcus slowly turned into something darker, something calculated and dangerous. I stopped crying, and I started planning. After that night, I became terrifyingly quiet. I didn't shout, I didn't beg, I didn't send angry messages. Instead, I observed everything like a shadow. I watched how Victoria cherished her perfect social image, how Richard's entire empire depended on his reputation of honesty and tradition, how Claire lived for the approval of her rich friends, and Marcus. He kept sending messages. I'm confused. We need to talk. My family is just worried about me. I never replied. In silence, I worked. I collected old voice recordings I had secretly saved. I spoke to a disillusioned employee in Richard's company and got proof of financial irregularities. I found messages where Marcus had actively asked his family to investigate me further. Every night I sat alone, building my plan with cold precision. My mind felt sharp, almost frightening. There were moments when fear gripped me. What if this backfired? What if I became the villain? But then I remembered the way Marcus had looked at me during the rehearsal dinner. And the fear turned into steely resolve. The psychological tension inside me grew heavier each day. I could feel the storm coming, and I was both its creator and its center. On what should have been our wedding day, I sent Marcus one message. Meet me at the venue tonight. 8 p.m. alone. Come if you want the real truth. He replied within minutes. I'll be there. As I got ready, I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes looked different now. Calmer, colder, determined. The broken girl from the rehearsal dinner was gone. Everything was ready. The trap was perfectly set. And tonight, they would finally understand what happens when you push someone too far. The venue was eerily quiet. Same flowers, same lights, but tonight it felt like a stage for judgment. Marcus arrived first. He looked tired and hopeful. Elena, I've missed you. I think I made a mistake listening to them. I didn't smile. I simply said, sit. Then I played the recordings one by one. First, Victoria's voice. We have to make Marcus see that Elena is beneath us. Twist the story about the child. Make her look unstable. Marcus's face went white. Next came Richard's conversation about manipulating financial records for a big project. The same man who always preached about family values and honesty. Then Claire's laughter while telling her friends how she had been spreading rumors about me for months. Finally, I showed Marcus his own words to his mother. You were right. I'm having doubts about Elena now. He broke down completely. Before he could beg, the doors opened. Victoria, Richard, and Claire walked in, expecting victory. Their smiles died the moment they heard their own voices playing back. I stood up, my voice low but steady. You humiliated me at the rehearsal dinner. You destroyed my reputation with lies. You turned the man I loved against me. So I decided to let your own actions destroy you. I told them that all the evidence was scheduled to send to every important contact, newspaper, and social circle in exactly 20 minutes. Panic filled the room. In the end, they had no choice but to beg. The next day, Richard publicly apologized to me. Victoria was forced to admit her interference on social media. Claire's reputation crumbled. Marcus fell to his knees, crying, asking for another chance. I looked at him one last time and whispered, "You believed their lies when I needed you the most. That moment will haunt you forever." I walked away without looking back. Their own lies and cruelty became the weapon that broke their perfect world. The rehearsal dinner that was meant to destroy me ultimately destroyed them. If this story hit you, that video on your screen right now, that one is even heavier. Click it. You won't regret it. You won't.